Doing it live.
So you've got video queued up.
I have our game, and I had the play 43, the punt from your game. I'm not sure what.
Okay.
I didn't know what I was looking at. So,
That's good.
you guys using 8-man in Seattle Way?
Yes.
Well, let me send out the link, because if they ain't here now, they ain't coming.
Sign in.
So I can see it. Robert, I said, that's a question for the group.
All right.
Really?
And you can tell they have a retirement party in
Well, congratulations. How many years?
I wish it was.
Congratulations on the promotion for getting the job with the person who's leaving.
All right, anytime. Huh?
How many people do we have online?
I knew you were going to ask that. I just sent out the link about 2 minutes ago.
All right, then I'll save that announcement. For you.
Move my analytics. Peak concurrence 0.
So we're ready?
Anytime.
All right, well, good evening. Thank you for coming out. For what will be the last Southern Chapter film study rules review for the year. Our next meeting will be, for the Southern Chapter, will be our annual business meeting banquet elections. That will be December 2nd, which is the first Wednesday in December, back at the Needwood Country Club, 7 p.m. start time. As we've done in the last couple of years, we will have urban barbecue. We'll get a few pitchers of beer and a few sodas and things of that nature. Conduct business, have elections for the upcoming year, and then socialize and fellowship, as well as give out some congratulations for those who have already started working playoff games, whether it be high school or college. Doesn't really matter to us. Postseason is typically a reward for job well done. So I can tell you the NCAA and the CFO has started accepting crew nominations for Division II and Division III playoffs for this year. I do not know who Bill is putting forward for Division II or Division III playoffs. I can tell you that the pool of eligible teams is expanding, so there's going to be more games in the first and second rounds. So that could mean expanded opportunities for crews to work. It does depend on divisional matchups and things of that nature, but there are opportunities out there. Those, I guess, would be considered the cream of the crop assignments for postseason. But there are going to be 6 ECAC bowl games. For those of you who have been around a while, those 6 games have typically been hosted at 6 different schools, all at the same date, at about 11 or 12 o'clock. And typically those are schools that do not make the NCAA playoffs. The ECAC is changing that structure this year. The games will be held over 3 days at one site.
Central Connecticut.
Games will be at Central Connecticut University.
It's just there, that's a long way.
Well, now there's good news. There will be 2 games on the 20th at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then 8 o'clock. Then on Saturday, there will be 2 games, and they will be 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. And then on Sunday, the 22nd, there will be 2 games at 12 and 5. Bill gave the Pittsburgh chapter selection number 1 in terms of which of those 6 games. We don't know who's going to be playing, but the date and times, they get the number 1 selection. We get the number 2 selection. Game fee is somewhere between $225 and $235 will probably be the game assignment fee. And the ECAC will put up a crew for 1 night at the hotel. The only exception being they will not pay for hotel rooms on Sunday.
You can't stay Sunday night.
See, well, you can stay in Central Connecticut on Sunday night. I'm not telling you that you cannot stay in Central Connecticut on Sunday night. What I'm saying is the ECAC will pay for rooms on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday.
I'm assuming we're not taking the Sunday 5 p.m. game then.
I told Bill that if Pittsburgh chooses one of the 2 Saturday games, since they are probably the furthest traveling, we will take the second game on Saturday. So if we get the 11 o'clock game, I would probably say the crew might want to go up on Friday night, do the game, hang around or come on back, but you'll be back Saturday. Or you get up early on Saturday morning, go do the game, stay Saturday night, get up on Sunday morning and come back. We do not have that crew selected. So that is still up for consideration. There are very few games left. We have 3 games this weekend. I still need a side judge and a timer. So if you're not working and you're online, please let me know. I'll send out an email. We need to get those 2 assignments covered. So the bill is satisfied. I will never say that Bill looks favorably upon those who help him out. We have done extremely well, so thank those who have gone up to Lackawanna College this year. I know we've got some folks helping out this weekend as well. So it's a very busy weekend for Bill, and we have a few people that are helping him out. So that's why we're kind of scrambling based on the weather changes. Speaking of weather, we had nothing we could do about the October 10th fiascos in terms of the weather cancellations. One game was doubled up this week, so one crew lost the game. Other crews have lost 2 or 3 games due to cancellations at Coppin State and University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Not a whole lot we can do about that. Club programs like semi-pro get canceled. But I do want to hear from the membership, because Bill doesn't know what to do. Because if they decide they want to cancel in a timely fashion, the only affected parties are those who accepted the games and now may not be able to backfill with a high school game or some other assignment. So you end up being caught short. Now, I'm not saying that we would, if Bill says we want to let them go, we let them go. We could go after them independently as the Southern chapter if we want to do that. But we would be on the hook with coordinating efforts. I don't know if football is very good. I know sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. So any comments from those in the room who've been there in terms of travel? Or even is it worth us trying to explore taking over Lackawanna? Saying, Bill, that we'll do half those games similar to what we do at Alderson Brothers, but we'll send up the whole crew instead of 3 or 4.
How far is Lackawanna?
What did they say, Scranton, Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
What, 4 hours?
Shit, if we can do Lewisburg, we can do Lackawanna.
I'm just, I mean, Alderson is out there as well. I mean, that's
That's 3.5, 4 hours for me.
Tom.
I say keep it. I've been to both Coppin and Maryland Eastern Shore this year. I'd rather do that than sit home and do nothing. As any game, you're going to learn something. You're going to see things you may not see other places. But it sure beats sitting home and breaking leaves, as Mr. Bartlett used to tell us, in the fall. So I would do whatever we can to keep them, whether that's Bill Ward keeping them, or if he doesn't want to, then I would recommend that highly that we go after.
Stuart.
I mean, I had a couple of the cancellations at UMES, and I don't know if it's something that we could control, or, I mean, we can't control, but in other way help it. They had on their schedule teams that I had contacted visiting teams to find out that they were not, that UMES wasn't on their schedule. So I don't know how we were getting the information from UMES, game time, game sites, and visiting team from visiting team telling you, we don't have them on their, we don't have them on their schedule. So I don't know how, if we can work that out.
Typically, 1 or 2 things happens. Either they send us a schedule early in the season as to what they think they're going to play, or we go find a schedule either through a website or club football has a website. Either that team has a website, so we'll scrounge and scrounge and do whatever we can to come up with the information in order to start making assignments so that you have an idea of what and where you might be going on a given date and time.
I've usually had pretty good response from Coach Mitchell at UMES.
Me too.
Coach Howard at Coppin does not respond to emails, but Booth,
Yeah,
Raheem Booth, will respond to emails.
He actually responded to one of mine saying, "You're better off sending them to me than to Coach Howard."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's normally my point of contact as well.
I was gonna say, I went to one of the ones this year, way far, and I was able to, we talked to the guys, it's good football, like, he was bad, but you're a quality squad, so they play on quality, sure, he's really good to the next day. They do well, so.
I mean, for Lackawanna, that may be one where, we try to go out and just say, hey, Bill, rather than send, partial crews, we're willing to take over, like you do with Alderson. Give us half the games and we'll send a crew up. What I'm also trying to do, and I know Mike and I, at the board, Aaron as well, we talk about opportunities and where we might find schools and things of that nature. So we've lost 3 schools, so we have, trying to find a way to build back the roster. Otherwise, we don't need as many officials on staff, even though we've had good success getting our first and second year guys, or our second and third year guys, a lot of work with ECFOA and Mill. But we never know when that stream will dry up. So I think the floodgates there are wide open simply because the training that we try to provide has been good, and the officials have taken on and taken to the things that we're trying to teach and trying to put them into practice. And in doing that, it allows you to move on to some other opportunities. Mike, would you agree with that? Or?
Milt trusts us to send up guys that we've already trained down here. He doesn't expect a first-year guy just to be thrown in there in his first college game. But when we send guys up, Zach, you're one of them, Billy's one of them, they usually get scheduled for next year. And so if one of us comes up to you and says, hey, would you want to work for Bill? That means we think you're ready to go up, and which means you can be proved up next year. But yeah, I haven't heard any. Actually, I've heard a lot of good stuff about all the past couple of years of guys from down here moving up there.
4 hours doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
4 hours is a home game when you're working for Bill.
All right, anybody else?
I'd just say that, piggybacking off what Bill said, I think the important thing though is that the time spent at UMES and at Coppin State, Lewisburg, those spots, with Tom, having the opportunity to work those games with Zach and, have those experiences, I each get a place and whether you get a chance to be here and there, it's completely worth the opportunities that you do have and the game does have.
Say it's rough. I mean, it's grass time.
Right.
It's grass time, and we're packing up the truck and going to Lewisburg on early Saturday morning,
Yep.
and it's worth it,
Good.
right? It's not going to be super great football, but it's football, right? And my crew lost 3 games this year because of cancellations. Shit happens.
Yeah.
Not thrilled about it, but here we are. So we're gonna finish next. We're supposed to be in Newport News November 14th, and I happened to check their website and it said canceled. I'm like, okay, I like going down there. That's fun. That's a fun trip, but it happens. So let's just make the snaps count.
And with Newport News, they're independent, so it's not through no fault of their own that the visitors decided to drop their program, not field a team.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. So, and they couldn't find another opponent. So that's just kind of the luck of the draw.
Probably get a good high school team from up here to go down there and play them. Shit, they got good high school teams down in Newport News.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we are. Our last regular season game would be next week at Gallaudet. That's the end of our regular season. I don't know if Georgia Military is providing the officials this year. Lackawanna and Georgia Military normally plays at one of the Division I schools somewhere on the East Coast. We have been to Carter Finley for NC State. We have been down to Blacksburg in Virginia Tech Stadium. We have been to Marshall last year. Those are always a hike, but they're great venues, and it's normally a halfway decent football game. A lot of D1 talent that you're officiating when you do a Lackawanna, or even when you do a Lewisburg.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Division I scouts that are down there that you can see trying to find some of that talent that they have. So their opponents aren't always very good, but you'll see some good stuff. So that's kind of where we are as a chapter. Any other business that we need to talk about tonight? If not, we'll go to Tom for his rules question.
Before that, business. Whatever happened with paying the fee through Arbiter? Do we know anything about that?
No,
Okay, I mean. it
We're
was
still
like-
waiting on it.
it was one day, we're fixing it, we're working on it, then it's up, and then somebody fixes it, and it doesn't work, and no one has said anything else about it.
It's the same system that CFO uses, so you wouldn't think it would be very difficult to do, but
Well, okay, so at this point, we're in limbo on paying our ECAC.
Hold on to your money.
Okay.
Hold on to your
At this
money.
point, they might as well just take it out of your check for whatever they're gonna send you. That might be easier.
Well, that's what a lot of high school associations do. They take your fees out of, especially if the ECAC is paying. Now, half the schools that we service, University of Maryland, Eastern Shore, Lewisburg,
AB.
Alderson Broaddus, those three I know pay you direct.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about your money. Lewisburg, I think, still pays you on site, so they'll have to,
yeah, they pay you at halftime.
so, so there are some benefits to going down to Lewisburg.
Usually feed us too.
Yeah, some of the places don't treat you bad. I know, like I said, Newport News does well.
Chuck forgot the subs on Saturday. But the guy you did.
You got the subway?
Yeah.
Well, that might have been, I don't know, it might have had something to do with those calls that he had the week before or
Yeah,
the month before.
Yeah,
He's probably still a little salty about that.
we chatted about that.
So am I still on this Christmas card list?
Oh yeah. I don't know what the card's gonna say, but you're getting the card.
As long as they do, well, I guess they do know what your address is, so if you want to post a guard on Saturday night, trick or treat, we understand what you might be getting. Anything else?
As far as the banquet's concerned, because we are spending money to have it catered, we'll do like we did last year. I'll send out a link, and you guys can RSVP to that, so I have a better idea of how many people are coming. I'll probably do that next week, so we can start nailing that down. Just make sure we have enough food there for everybody, not too much left over.
I'll say this, and then we'll do Tom's question. Now is the time season wraps up and our regular season wraps up, that as you go to your year-end high school meetings, if anyone approaches you or you want to approach someone, now is the time to send them to the website, have them download the application, fill it out, get their monies in to Aaron, 2 letters of reference, have them pull their schedules. All of those things need to start happening now so we get the information in hopefully by the end of December. Classes at Towson will start probably last week in January, first week in February, as they traditionally do. But we're not going to stop recruiting down here and trying to continue to find talented football officials that have the ability to work college football and move forward. We are probably, we are probably one of the strongest chapters in terms of finding new officials. One of the reasons Bill has trouble elsewhere is they are not recruiting at the same level that we are. And our philosophy and attitude down on this end is we're not worried about our job security, those of us who are veterans. We have to train the next generation of football officials. We pay it forward. So you have to be ready. We cannot do this forever, no matter what we think. So we need to have someone in the pipeline. And it seems as though things are changing a little bit in terms of those who are able to get off work on Saturdays, those who are closing out dates on Saturdays and Sundays. And I'm not advocating that you not do things outside of football from the end of August through the second week of November. That's not what I'm saying. All I am saying is that it's a very short season. And when you close out dates, you limit your opportunities. And when you close out dates, you should close out Saturdays and Sundays now. Typically, we said do Saturdays, but if you're going to be out for the weekend, given the weather, it is hurricane season, July to November. So you never know when a cancellation and a move to the next date will be. So make sure you close out Saturdays and Sundays as best you can. Tom, question?
All right, let me give you the situation. A's ball on their own 45. It's 4th and 10. They line up in a scrimmage kick formation. And the punter is a rugby style kicker. So he gets his snap, running around, runs towards the line of scrimmage. He now kicks the ball from A's 47. B catches the kick on their own 15-yard line, and D returns it for a touchdown. Where is the ball next snap from?
You give him the yards that he ran, assuming it's a running play.
Yeah. What was it? What was the yards they used for the yards game?
He kicked it from the 47.
4th and 10.
4th and 10 from the what?
45.
Okay, so it's 2 yards downfield.
2 yards downfield.
305 from there, go to 42. He's going to snap the ball first.
13.
In possession behind the line of game.
Why is
It's not-
the ball and not
it's-
David
it's
way
not-
down?
It's A's ball. 13.
Not
This is still
Who kicks on? Who kick lost downfield?
Yes, I lost him. So
It is or is not.
it's not.
Don't all looking it up in your rule book. This is going to happen in the game, and you're going to get caught with your pants down. Okay? I did. You're right. An illegal kick kills the ball. Enforcement is 5 yards from the previous spot and lost it down. So the ball, we will go back to the 45, march back to the 40, and since it was 4th down, the ball turns over to B. It's now B's ball on the line of scrimmage. And I kicked you on the line of scrimmage. And he said, no. He said, I had it blocked in the back. And I said, well, it kicked you on the line of scrimmage, it takes preference. And then we were discussing whether it was 5 or 15. And
You guys did not shut it down.
we did not shut it down.
And did they return it for a touchdown?
No.
Okay.
I just threw that in there because you remember, pens are automatically declined if it's by the opponent of the scoring team.
Right. This is the oddball case where we got to shut it down.
You got to shut it
Is, that,
down.
is this like the only foul that makes a live ball
A
become dead?
return kick also
Yeah.
does. And I knew the return kick did, but I didn't remember that the kick beyond the line of scrimmage also shut it down.
We got-
We kicked it.
It's apropos to talk about kicks because all of our plays are essentially
Yes.
kick plays.
And neither coach complained. I mean, they both saw that it was beyond the line. And this is the first one I've ever seen where the guys went
It,
beyond the line of
you know,
scrimmage.
these are
But they're in
plays
the book.
that
There's a reason they're in the book.
somewhere
Yeah.
at one time that caused it to go into the book.
I mean, it's a rule that makes sense, right? If you could try to run, you could have your punter try to run for the first down, and if you realize he's gonna make it, you
Then kick it,
wherever he
right.
is. And
Yeah, but one would think, okay, then why not let B have a chance to return it? You know, so the question is, yeah, make it a free play, so to speak.
kind of bizarre that they would throw that as it's generally no foul. You know, if you go back to like the Federation fundamentals, and no foul causes a live ball to become dead, and to go away from a fundamental like that for such an oddball case.
But isn't that the same rule in Federation?
No.
No?
No foul causes a live ball to become dead in Federation play ever.
And I
No,
knew
that's not true anymore, but I won't go there.
Yeah, he won't go there. I knew there was the exception of college for the return kick. But like I say, it just slipped my mind. Interesting play, very, very rare.
Federation ball's not
It's one of those, you'll never mess it up again.
Yeah, it won't.
Stuck in your brain now.
Figured out, oh, he missed the
5 years from now, it'll be on some rare test. Oh, I got this one.
That's right.
Next week you found out that it was.
Or it'll be next year's 7 chapter test.
There you go.
When you guys take next year's 7 chapter test, remember tonight.
Can I ask a mechanics question?
Sure.
So in my game last week at UMES, we actually talked about it in the pregame. 6-man crew, and we had a potential intentional ground. They'd thrown 50 yards in the middle of the field.
Like in the Super Bowl.
Yes, like the Super Bowl. And we talked about it just sort of as a key question. But my deep wings had a receiver that they were covering, that they were sticking with. And then the question was who was going to pick up and tell me if there was a receiver in the area. I think both deep wings, I think we had a 6-man conference on that one. But the deep wings had someone that they were like they were who's going to pick up like someone that's deep in the middle?
They should.
They should.
I mean, here's the first, what's the first part of the equation that we have to get with? We have to start with where is the quarterback?
Quarterback.
Okay, so he's in the pocket. Then was he under duress? So then the third thing is, yes, you cannot, because you're going to stay as the referee, you're going to stay with the quarterback under duress. Now, I don't want to hear, I had my key. Because at some point, you have to officiate the play. And we have said this over and over and over. So somebody's got to know at some point the quarterback threw the ball. And who is he throwing it to? This is where judgment comes in, whether it's 50 yards downfield or whether it's 2 yards within the line of scrimmage. Sometimes he throws it out this way and the receiver goes this way. Sometimes he goes this way and the ball goes that way. Sometimes he's not looking and the ball lands at the bottom of his feet. Sometimes they'll hit a lineman in the back.
Let's talk about, since we're on intentional grounding, let's talk about the enforcement on that, just so everyone's clear. What are we doing?
What I'll tell you is that from the referee's perspective, and your quarterback is under duress, and he is in the pocket, having never gone outside the pocket, or outside the tackle box. Let me say the right term and use the right terminology so that nobody gets confused. The quarterback has been outside the tackle box. I don't care if he comes back in and goes back out and comes back in. Once out, always out. So if he stays in the tackle box extended all the way back, and now he is under duress, the referee should go to the spot where the pass was, know the spot where the pass was thrown, because the quarterback may end up a few yards further back. You officiate from the referee's position the end of that play. Make sure nothing else happens to the quarterback. That's first. Then once he gets up off the ground, you look around and you hope that somebody at that point on the crew is coming with help if they believe that there should be intentional grounding on the play, that there was no receiver. They should be bringing you that information. As they're bringing you that information, you should be kind of staying at the spot, or as close to the spot where the pass was thrown as possible.
The referee should.
The referee should be there. because the information is going to come to you. If you have intentional grounding, you can toss the flag up in the air from that spot. There's a CFO play where that didn't happen, where there was intentional grounding, and they, according to Rogers, they were off 4 or 5 yards. But it is up to the rest of the crew to say whether there was a receiver in the air. Because the referee's primary responsibility is the quarterback. If you get to 8, the center judge, if you're in the MEAC with the umpire in the backfield, they may be able to give you some assistance. But that is a crew call in that circumstance.
Shouldn't the umpire, I know we built this 6 minutes before, shouldn't the umpire be pivoting anyway once the ball is on a long pass down the middle to help out because there's an
The umpire should turn, there's some philosophies that say the umpire only turn on the short ones. But if the umpire is in the middle of the field, he should pivot and get that backside look for, as far as I'm concerned, any pass. Not just the low passes, because a deep pass in the middle, we could be spread out on 5 or 6, and you have the only look on that play as to whether the ball was possessed or dropped or whatever the case may be. Same thing on that illegal kick. The umpire could be the safety net. If the line judge falls asleep, the umpire can help the crew out by knowing where that ball was kicked from, sometimes even where it was touched in some scenarios. Anything else? Otherwise, we'll move on to kick play here.
All right, so this is from this weekend at Gallaudet, and we didn't really notice it. And the 3 wings and the 2 wings and I were talking about this after the visiting coach started complaining about it because it was not something that we were really aware of. If you take a look, watch the formation of the returners.
A wedge. 4-man wedge.
They start as 2 groups of 2, and they are supposed to be blocking independently, according to Chuck. There, and however, the 2 groups of 2 end up usually in the same neighborhood as each other. It's not a very good view on this play, but when we come around to the other end, let's actually skip this one because it's the same thing. Here we go. We're going to come the other way. I have all of Husson's kickoffs, being that they won 54-8. We have plenty of kickoffs by then.
Yep, there it is. Even holding hands.
Yeah.
Well, the 2 and 2 are holding hands. So watch in this neighborhood right here. See, what I saw from there, because this is after we had started talking about it, was that it looked like this. I had some depth issues between the 2. They didn't look side by side to me. Now, from that angle, it certainly is. So who can help me with that? Because none of us are going to be even with them. So each of us are going to have the depth issue. I don't think they did it on this one. Oh yeah, they did. This is the worst one.
That's one of those ones where I think the wings, knowing that the goal line isn't threatened, should be coming up.
All right, stop it there.
Yeah, that's a good
You know what I mean? You're going to get up the pylon. Goal line's not threatened, so you certainly can help if you get your ass off the pylon and get upfield and get the best angle of that.
When they're starting to move here,
Yeah, but his point is,
yeah,
you're going to see the flight of the ball, that it's not going to threaten the goal line. Okay, so there's no reason to hang.
Yeah.
Your referee's got the goal line if it does. If they don't,
if something funny happens.
well, if they don't catch it, and
Stop it
Look
there.
how short
Stop.
that ball comes down. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
So if we
15.
split the field in half, if the ball is muffed, it likely will go into this side zone. Now we all know that the ball can do funny things. From a mechanics philosophy standpoint, when the ball is kicked on this side of the field, we'll have the referee who is here to keep this ball boxed in. The official on this corner can release and start moving upfield to catch the blocks in front of the returner. That's proper mechanics at that point. So the look would be, for this official, would be down here. The referee should be right here. Then this deep official would have the point of attack on the return. If for some reason it goes this way, point of attack, backside blocks, point of attack, then backside blocks. Backside in that scenario, and then any dead ball stuff over here.
Did you guys flag this at all during the game?
No, we did not.
Now, Arnold Barnes in pregame, he told us he was gonna do something like this, but they was gonna be staggered. And we told him that, yeah, you telling us that, but your players ain't gonna react like that.
Right. He said he was gonna have two groups of two, but one was gonna be clearly in front of the other about 5 yards.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Pregame.
And I had him at Lincoln, which is one of the CIAA schools, and we had that same conversation.
Right.
Now the good thing is that Marty had called me and told me what was going on, so we had a consistent message. We also had.
In his punch.
And we had that discussion about using the guys with the numbering exception.
He didn't bring that one to my attention, but we did talk about this way possibility.
It's looking like the referees just kind of on the out of the stuff.
That is, by mechanic, his call.
Everyone else is looking at where blocks are actually going to be happening. And
We'll bring it.
and not 14 yards behind where this wedge is.
I just can maybe I'm doing it.
Is the proper mechanic to be 5 yards deep in the end zone where I'm standing, or is we stand on the goal line?
I stand in the middle or sometimes even further back. I don't want to do anything that is going to impede the view of my side officials on whether that ball gets into the end zone or not. So that is my standard position.
I'm usually 3 to 6 yards deep, depending on what's going on. If they look like they're gonna get the ball into the end zone, I'm gonna be further back.
I've gone back a little bit further, but typically somewhere in that area is where I start. It's where I blow my ready for play, and it's where I stay until the play really develops. And I don't know if we'll get to those plays tonight, and so I won't tip it off. So if we do, we'll take a look at it for my game this weekend. That one, I think, probably is not a wedge, because there was more than a yard in between.
No, that one looked all right.
That one was probably okay.
And the funny thing is, that was after this. I think this was the point where the visiting coach had said something to us
Right.
about it, and Ralph and I and Derek were talking about it, going, "All right, we're gonna keep an eye on it." And I'm like, "Nope, that wasn't one."
Okay, back that up just a hair. Just a hair. And I watch the runner when he goes down. When is the runner down?
Anything other than his hands or feet.
So is your forearm down?
I think his knee's down right there. Could be.
I don't know about that.
Oh wait, watch it.
I didn't say he was, but is
Right.
your forearm is not your hand or your foot. So if you have a situation where the forearm hits, okay, by rule, he is down. Could be a tough call, but
I don't think I can see him on this one.
Yeah, that's a tough sell. We probably see it from the side angle a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
Whether he was down. you would get supported, I think, either way.
Yeah.
Who would typically, it's probably one person that's gonna see that.
Can't do it.
And that's this official right there. A nice clean look.
Stop it. That's not gonna work.
Referee might have this player in front of him. These officials have players. This official right there has got to take initiative and say he was or wasn't.
Looks down to me. Right there. Right there.
Probably down. You're going to, no matter what was called, film is inconclusive, play stands as ruled on the field.
I got one more of these. I don't think these are, none of these are worth anything. I mean, we're just doing the same thing over and over again. When we get back to kicks here in a second, there's three plays that, there's three more, okay, here we go. There's three more plays we want to discuss, although this is a kick play, I suppose. What happens here, for whatever reason, Husson had their PATs blocked a number of times in this game. I think there were at least 4 that were blocked. Is that right, Pat? Yeah. And so what happens here is you will see, actually, why don't I just let it unfold, and we'll talk about it. No, he's an unhappy coach down here. So what do we have?
Ooh, yeah, it's
Where
right.
do you recover it?
That is the question. This is the
Snap on
standard
the- snap
standard
on the three.
PAT snap from the 3.
Blocked.
Looks like he's behind.
And it looks like he never came forward,
It looked
so
like he picked it up on the 4.
he picked it up at or behind the line, so he definitely was not beyond.
So the discussion that was had here was whether or not the kick crossed the line of scrimmage, but you have touching at the line. And the argument was made that he was in advance of the line of scrimmage when he recovered the ball. And that ended up being the ruling on the field. So we wiped out the PAT. Now, on film, he looks to have got it at about the 4. So that's why I wanted to at least discuss this. Who gets this? Because the wings are immediately moving to the goal line, right?
No,
That's what I'm saying.
no. Wings need not go to the. That's the exception to the ball is snapped inside the 7. You go to the goal line. If you're going to do it, and in this case, if you've had more than one block, don't start charging in, because typically your movement is in or even towards the offensive backfield is the mechanic that's taught. So you're angling in back here, angling in back here. Why? Because all the players are headed in this direction.
But if you have the exterior lineman recover this thing, you still have the line to
These two guys may be the only ones to see where that ball was picked up.
The side does have to be much closer.
Yeah,
That's
what's
what
he
I was
doing?
getting at. What's he doing way over there? He should be,
You gotta man up to get in there.
well, you can bulk up and get in there too. But
Well, no, that's just you're a wee little guy that comes out every now and then.
Now, the only time that would change would be if what? We have a swinging gate to one side or the other, and then who goes out to the swing side?
I asked Louis what happened. Louis said, I don't know.
Considering the
And that's the other question.
considering the position here, he would have a good look.
so you initially would have given him a touchdown, but you ruled that he recovered it beyond the line of scrimmage, so therefore he can't advance? Is that-
Correct. And there's still a question as to whether or not his knee is down before the ball crosses the goal line anyway.
In that instance, that's gonna be on this official, no matter whether he's coming busting in to go back here, whether he's coming in here, whether he's going there.
If you back it up just to where he recovered the ball.
It's right there.
Okay, stop. That's the 2, that's the 3.
He's on the 4.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
No, I'm
you actually have a
telling you.
reference point there.
I'm telling you on film. Yes, it appears that he did recover the ball behind the line of scrimmage.
Now, I don't know if this was the first one, the second one, or the
This
third
was
one.
play 69, so this was the
15.
4th, I think, or 3rd.
Okay,
They had the pedal down the whole time.
okay, so. This is the first, third, or fourth score, and this is not the first block they had. Our radar should now be up as to whether or not we're gonna have a successful PAT. Now, my problem with this is, we've got a block kick. We have no movement here, no movement here, no movement here, and no movement there. We don't have anybody charging in over here, and we don't have anybody charging in over there. So this is a very poor mechanics play in terms of putting forth effort.
So I have 2 more plays here from this game, and I'm going to pick on my back judge a little bit because he's here. These are both good calls, but we need to work on where we're putting the flag. We're going to have a hold by this guy right there. Good long toss.
I was up by 5 yards though.
This way.
Too far with the offense.
So we had that. And then this is a pass interference call by the same official. And I ended up marking this, I think, as a 14-yard spot foul instead of a 15-yard foul because it was downfield.
Go back to that play, man.
You want the wide? You want the sideline?
Hold on, pause it for a second. What's the category of DPI?
I initially ruled it armbar, but upon review, I know it's on.
What category did you put it in initially?
Initially put armbar.
Okay.
but not in-
Did we get any information from the other official down there, Patrick? Did he say anything?
No.
Okay. All right.
Can you remember the play again?
Yeah. This angle or the other one?
The sideline.
So you're saying Patrick, he pushed off or did something down here?
I believe
Yeah.
in real time.
Right there, it looked like maybe you
There's
had
a
slight
little bit of
grab.
separation. Yeah.
But I wouldn't want it in front of you.
Now, I'll give
You
you,
know, you threw that on the, well, I don't know what happens, it's on the FRS, it's key. So if I was that guy, I'd immediately come and say, hey, what'd you have? And if you know you
Yes,
did on
I-
this, you go talk to him first too. Say, what'd you see on that? Because I had him pushed off. And maybe he'll say, I didn't see that, but I saw him.
We got.
He stumbled or something.
So what do we have?
But always talk to that guy first, because he
Okay.
might talk you off if you charge memory that, oh, yeah, that is my guy.
Yeah, double number.
All right, so we've got, what kind of formation do we have?
Double number.
All right, so we have a balanced formation,
2 and 2.
2 and 2. This guy goes with the F. This guy goes with the S. This guy goes with the, okay, H has this guy. Back judge is gonna have this, the wing back here, right?
Maybe.
Yeah,
He
I'm
might
not
be
sure.
inside.
I'm not sure he's actually a double-double.
We call this, we took, in our pregame, we said if it's a doubt, the H is actually clearly out, we said we make it back. So when I went over, I was missing really two by my key.
All right, now why do I say, and he may have just a piece of this tackle. But if you look at his foot, he's on the circle, and I know that goes back that way because it's a circle, so it's not going to stay. All right. We're going to have this guy. Well, let's start here. Is this guy restricted or unrestricted?
He's not restricted.
Why is he unrestricted?
Breaking.
So you're saying he's unrestricted because he's in the box and breaking the waist of the tackle?
Yeah, playing.
What are we doing on the field? Because that's why I stopped and let's ask this question because
Now let's ask the question.
All right, so he's inside and he's stationary, so he is restricted or unrestricted. All right.
Is it not full vision or is the guy, the near side guy well across the field?
Well, I'd say that's the line. I'd say he's in good shape. I'd say I'd say we're good there.
Our guy.
Both of them, I'd say, are that is. Look, if you're gonna
looking for trouble.
if you're gonna want to call that,
Well, if you look at the stick, I mean, look where the stick is. Stick's on a 48. The ball's about to 47 3/4.
That's because he lifted it up.
Yeah.
In the backfield, the line up.
right. So, what you can do if you have this early in the game, you could stop this wide out and get his front foot about here, so that when he leans, A is going to be behind the ball. So you tell him, you're on the line right there, and he'll stop. Same thing out here, because these are pretty tall receivers. So get them to stop, and that's at any level. You can get them to stop. I got you on the line right where you are, and then that will knock off some of that foolishness that you have. And when you do that, this sideline and this sideline will shut the heck up when you say he's on the line. Okay, so we've got unrestricted. So we've got 4 in the backfield. It doesn't look like we've got the tackles. So here, all right, so since we have him in the backfield, are we going to give the back judge that guy? That's what we're doing? So the back judge is over here. The wing officials have the backs coming out of the backfield. Stop it there. Now the ball has already been thrown. Back judge's key did a shallow cross. Field judge is doing a post. This guy's doing a post. I'm happy that the back judge comes off of this and goes to the play, because that's properly officiating the zone. And we have here as the zone, that's his key.
You have two eyes, 2 sets of eyes on him.
Should have 2 sets of eyes. And, at this point, the ball's in the air. So even the F over here has a real good look at that action. So that's a good play to have 3 officials coming in and say, what have you got?
say, watching the film, it just looks like we got a little chicken, maybe even just a little chicken fight going down the field. But this is, you're right. This is where we need help from Dominic and from Steve back there. That's where we have to have a discussion.
Yeah, and I'm okay if we say we have an arm bar on the inside, or if we have some type of restriction inside, and this side official not throwing it on that case. Because the action of the inside hands are over here.
Mhm.
So I'm okay with the back judge if we have a restriction, an arm bar, early contact, something not playing the ball. I'm okay with the back judge throwing that, because that side official cannot see it from where he is. So we got many of the components of that play right. We just didn't have the right call as we see on film.
So that's the last one of those. Let's pull up your Virginia State.
All right. Now, as Aaron pulls this play up, this is CIAA school. It happens to be my crew. We use eight officials, so don't get confused with all of that. What I want you to do is understand the scenario. We've got fourth down. This is also a TV game, but there's no replay, so don't get excited. It just slows down everything. But it was a nice day. So we're coming out of TV at the start of the second quarter. We've got 4th and about 8. Virginia State is kicking to Bowie. And let's run the play, and I'll let you tell me. We'll look at both the sideline and then the end zone, and you let me know what you see or don't see.
I know it's a shitty film.
I've had high school films be a
Yeah.
lot better than this, but this is what we got. Got a rugby-style kicker.
What were we looking at?
Did that guy stay in motion or did he leave the field?
No, what happens? Did anybody see a fair catch signal?
No.
Why did the play stop?
Everybody just
The
stopped.
play didn't stop. He just took off.
Oh, son of a bitch! And they clipped the film.
They clipped the film. No whistles. He scored.
That's ballsy.
He scored.
That's what I was wondering.
Playing that, we realized he didn't fair catch when people stopped.
You see, he kind of takes off to the right.
He takes off.
He sold it because he kind of just got it and stopped.
Right.
Son of a bitch. Oh, see ya. So,
Back judges.
where's the TV clip of this?
Hey, our supervisor was there. There was a neutral observer there. The coach of Virginia State went ballistic.
Sure.
His point was they gave a fair catch signal. Oh, he was livid. Somebody's getting fired. You all are the worst. Blah, 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 blah.
You know, there's never been any officials that ever did happen.
Yeah,
We've all been fired many times.
yes.
Do you want anything else with the huddle
Yeah, if you can get in the huddle.
on yours?
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Maybe.
Now, back judges. Because this film was sent to our rules interpreter. Did he give himself up on the play?
He stopped. He stood
Oh,
there.
it's like that. He stopped. The guy right in front of him, he just stopped.
I understand that play. That's why I'm sticking with the back judges right now. Did he give himself up? And because he stood there for a second or two, should we have, or could we have, because obviously we didn't, shut it down?
Which one?
To Lincoln.
This one versus Genie.
Yes. And the actual first.
The opening kickoff?
Yep.
Live ball doesn't look the way it is. Doesn't need, on film, when he looks like a big stop.
Now, I will also tell you that the TV sucked as well. TV didn't have it.
They cut away.
They didn't have a shot.
They probably only had 3 cameras.
No, they had 4, 5, 6 cameras, I think, on site. Typically for those, you have 2, one on each 20, one in each end zone, and maybe a
2 up top.
sideline camera. So I think there might have been 5. But my supervisor was there. The neutral observer was there. Obviously, we got 1 or 2 things happening at halftime.
You either get reamed.
We're either getting an attaboy, or who the hell is supposed to be watching that? Well, we got, we went to the TV and they couldn't help, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, of course, I told the coach that, and he says, well, I called my wife and she T-voted and they gave a fair catch signal. Okay.
That's great, Coach.
The short answer was, what he said was, we could have shut it down and been supportive. Because he gave himself up on the play. We give ourselves somewhat credit for, and I don't know the number of the play. Maybe we go back to that game and go to play 132. Yeah, try 132. In the second half. So we were okay with that.
132 is the defense. You want the kick right there?
Yeah.
134?
Yeah. So stop that. No, it was going to actually be.
128. Yeah, before or after that?
Yeah, try that one. Yeah, so stop at that one. I think it's out. So obviously that was a key point of discussion at halftime. This homecoming 25 minutes, so we have plenty of time. So if the coach says he gave a fair catch early, who might see that? So what are the mechanics is where I'm going on the kick if we have 7? So back judge and head linesman, right? And I did go to the back judge and I did go to the head linesman. I'm like, did you guys see a fair catch signal? And the answer was no. Okay, ruling on the field. Turner didn't give it to touchdown.
At least you had a microphone.
Yeah, well, and it worked.
That helps.
Okay, so we discussed all of the different scenarios at halftime, including this, what shuts it down, who's going to shut it down, who gets protection, making sure that the back judge is clued in early. So in case he does that early, just as the ball is kicked, we go through all of those scenarios. So let's take a look at this play.
If you work for Milt, you see that? That ball's dead. If he gives himself up, it's dead. Milt calls that illegal deception.
What now?
Somebody shut that one down.
Yes.
You saw the deep official signal. timeout?
Yes. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2, 3.
And it's not the person that gave the signal.
So what do you have?
It's dead right there.
Got that where it's hot.
What else do you have?
You still got to delay anyway. So you're talking about
No.
How many steps can you take after catching the ball?
3.
Didn't happen last year.
And wasn't he behind the guy who gave the signal? So
Yeah,
he
the
would
guy-
have seen it?
I think I ran into him. Oh yeah. Could have delay
All
there.
right, now,
Would you actually?
our boss is there, and he doesn't want.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would you call that? I wouldn't.
So we do not call delay game
No.
for that little bit of run.
I don't.
But by
That's
rule,
getting fly-
yes.
That's getting fly shit out of the cover.
Okay, so only the returner gets protection. The receiver does not get protection. Now, believe it or not, that play caused the Bowie coach to have, he didn't go crazy, but he didn't know the rule. So, this week, after having gone through all of those different scenarios and you get the graders report and you see that play, we have deduced that the second play is how it was supposed to be run on the first play. Meaning the coach doesn't understand that any signal by any returner shuts the play down. He believes that if the non-returner signals fair catch, the receiver or the person that catches the punt can go and do whatever he wanted to do. So we believe that that was taught. He now knows better. But because of the discussion we had at halftime, we got the second one right, and we were on high alert. So the point of that being, if you have something happen in the first half, you have a play that's continually blocked, fix it, and know how you're going to officiate those plays going forward in the game.
We got the link in here.
Yeah, let's go with it.
What you got?
All right. This is the
Oh, the opening kickoff.
opening kickoff, and let's see what happens. I'm the referee back there, so you see I'm there. Stop.
That's from a wedge to me.
Now, this is the opening kickoff of the game.
There's 4 there.
Yeah, but the fourth number really got in there, but there were clearly three. The fourth got there late.
So they're kind of.
Now you could call it. But there's at least three.
Now watch what happens. He goes for a touchdown.
Did you drop on it?
Right.
Now, I saw the 4 players come together. I just have a problem with the flag on the first play of the game, so I let it go. I did not throw my flag. So is this still the first play?
Yeah, I just ran it back.
Yeah. So we don't have an end zone shot, but my grader said, boy, that sure looked like a 4-man wedge, but he did not downgrade me. So now let's go to play 3. So now we're kicking off to the other end.
Son of a bitch.
Now watch this one.
And they broke right at the. Yeah.
And yes, I did see that one.
You can't throw on that one because you didn't throw on home.
Exactly. So I haven't seen a wedge in like 5 years since year 1. And here I've got back-to-back kickoffs. I don't call it on the first one. So when you start talking about consistency and officiating, don't call it on the second one if you didn't call it on the first one. And yes, the grader says, that looked like an other. Okay, but he doesn't downgrade me on either because I was consistent. So if I call one and don't call the other, if I get a correct call on that, I now have an incorrect call
On the other one.
or a no call or a missed call or whatever he feels like giving me on the first one.
Did you put them down as passes? in your copy?
I didn't say anything. I was like, let's see. My comment to myself was, well, let's see if he's paying attention.
First play of the game,
And-
he might not even have his notepad out yet.
Exactly. And we didn't have an observer at this game, so, yeah. So I want to know, let's see if he's paying attention. Because sometimes you get a grader who isn't, paying attention because, maybe he's a back judge or he's a side judge or he's a head linesman. So he's focused on something else. He's not looking at the overall play. So silence sometimes is golden.
So after you let the first two go, one on each side.
It never happened again the whole game.
Son of a-
Well, that was my question. Have you seen it again? Would you have flagged it?
No, I would have gone over to the coaches, and I still didn't get a chance to go to the coaches. This
What are you
game,
teaching these kids?
well, part of it is this rule came in about 4 or 5 years ago, and we made it a point of emphasis as a new rule. But what don't schools typically practice when we do spring and fall scrimmages?
Kickoff.
Kick off.
So if we don't do the returns and they don't practice it, then we don't mention it because we're emphasizing typically the rules that are coming into play this year. Let's see, is there another one? Go to the same game. Go all the way to the end. This should be the last hunt. So 180. No, go to 162.
That's a field goal attempt.
No, it's a scrimmage kick.
That's a kickoff. It's
All
also
right, yeah, go there we go. Go to 145.
Trevor. Yeah. That's PAT. Looking for anything tag kick. PAT. Usually 2 back-to-back or PAT and a kickoff.
Yeah, this one. All right, ball snapped at the 29-yard line. We've got 8 man. No, this one's not it.
It's a fair kick. He gets a getaway, doesn't he?
Yeah, that one's not it. What we want to look at. We
It was
can
after
find
that?
it. Yeah, because it was towards the end of the game that this happened.
This is not kicking. He's kicking out of the end zone here.
Wasn't that one? All right. Well, let's say. All right, just for the conversation, if you're the referee and you know that the kicker's backed up like that, what happens if his heel hits the back of the white?
So you get the ball over.
Yeah,
Pick the point. Are you gonna call it? Or are you just gonna give him the 2 points if say the back of his heel touches the ball, or you're just gonna let him kick the ball away and
Sorted by all kicks here.
you can punt from the far end zone.
Maybe the only person who's gonna see it is
All right, this one might be it right here. Yeah. What I'm looking for is one that goes over the punter's head, and he goes into the end zone. Now, these are,
He's already in the end zone.
well, that's the one where he was very close to stepping out.
Like a track meet.
This game was actually like 18 to 12
Oh, really?
into the third quarter. It ended up 63 to 18. They had a couple touchdown, interception returns, fumble return. They had everything that could happen that did happen.
Really? On Verizon, get it done. No, that's PAT and that's a kickoff.
Now it depends on which team.
There you go. That's the right answer. For
This ain't it because you said he goes over his head and in the end
oh no, the
zone.
ball was going to go over his head, and he's going to run back.
Like that far?
Let's try this one. Where we sent, because I think this.
Nope.
Oh yeah, all right. So
He did a little dive there.
So was that running into roughing?
That was nothing.
15-yard unsportsmanlike on the kicker.
Yeah, for the dive. He didn't even get touched.
Now my center judge was getting ready to throw on that, and then he saw I did, and he's like, okay. I'm like, dude, you gotta get better at your acting. And he was bad all day. And this was another one where the Virginia Union coach wanted a roughing to call, and I'm like, hell, his acting was as bad as the other guy's acting, so. No, don't worry about it. We're coming up on the bottom of the hour. If we got a free.
That's a free kick for the 20.
Yeah,
That's
so
a safety.
Should be that one right there. Should be play 40.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Try play 40. Oh, okay. The 40, somewhere in that. Where you at?
He's on O going out here. That's why you have safety.
Oh, yeah, I had a couple of those.
I mean, yeah. That's a kickoff. That's the second half kickoff. First half, second half.
It's got to be second half. I'm not waiting on it. So. No, it would be a kick followed by an offensive play.
Yeah.
So go kick and then defense.
Oh. No, I think we've looked at all these. Yeah, didn't go right there. Kick, kick D. That's going to be a kickoff. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Or it should be good.
We already looked at 133. That's when he's in the end zone. That's a field goal. Okay, well. Anyway, getting on 8:30 here.
Yeah. So, any other questions? The other point of emphasis, I'm not going to get into again, about kicks, if anything can go wrong. We had a kickoff in our game this past weekend where the kick returner did one of those, he catches the ball going backwards, he possesses the ball at the 2, and he goes back into the end zone. And just like the Bowie State returner, he decides he wants to stand there for 1,001, 1,002, and then he takes off. Good play, bad play, shut it down, let it go.
Let it go. If you take it in, you gotta get it out.
Does he? Stop, before you answer that, I'll give Stuart the first shot at it.
No, he doesn't have to. He's got, he's at the tip, if he's at the 2, he's got the momentum roll. If it goes down right there, he can go back to 2.
Where's my short wing? Did I have short wings?
I think you have to bring it out. Because it's an attitude, and it takes the attitude, he steps in back. You have to bring it out. Because you know, men want the ball, you take them in, right?
Another short wing?
It just depends on if I deem his momentum to the end. If I deem his momentum to the end, then it's still good too. He doesn't have to bring it out.
Goal line, 2-yard line.
And now he's gonna get out. Well, you just did, he's gotta come out. Or it's gonna be a 6.
Another short wing.
I wouldn't roll momentum on that. And I would be very deliberate with my whistle. If he's standing there in the end zone, to give him every opportunity to come out. But especially if you're on the back, for momentum.
I'm a referee. I just got the ball in the end zone. That's all I have. I have a returner with the ball in the end zone.
I don't know how he got there.
standing up.
I wouldn't bag it, and I wouldn't whistle it. Let it go.
So I don't have anything to do. And so he did take off, and I can't remember where he ended up at the end of the play. But the question is, let's say he takes a knee. Where are we going to put the ball? I mean, you know, what if I went a little bit quicker, you know, because I'm old. I can't go as quick as the young guys do it now.
Feels like a cheap safety. I'd like to give it to him on 2 if you can.
It's a pretty, you're right, that's a pretty cheap safety.
So why would we give us the cheap 2 points?
Why would it be a cheap safety?
Feels like a cheap safety.
Why would you not say give them a touchback? That an option?
Well, only if you say you didn't possess the ball.
There we go. There's a good out.
Coach kick didn't end. Kick wasn't over. He was by. He didn't have possession.
You're talking about a difference of 23 yards, gentlemen. So we're going to put the ball in the 25 if we roll a touchback.
Difference in 23 yards to me is less than the difference between 2 points and giving the ball to the other team.
Why would we give them 2 points in that scenario? It's still what I'm trying to get at.
I mean, if you don't rule momentum, you retreat to
Catches the kick at the 2.
He gets the kick at 2 and like
Runs
runs forward to the 10 and then back into the
Back.
That's different.
There we go. That's different. In the scenario I just gave, we're going to have 2 options. We're either going to say momentum and he gets the ball at the 2, or he didn't complete the process of the catch until he got to the end zone, and we're going to give him a touchback if he goes down. The only scenario, as I told my crew, because we talked about this in conjunction with that other play, because we've had a couple of those where the ball comes down between the 5 and the goal line. The only time we're not gonna rule momentum or where we're going to award a safety is if he possesses the ball and he literally makes the play and he's gonna have to run his butt back into the end zone with the ball, and everybody knows that that kick is over, and he did that himself. Which brings, and we'll end on rules, because if we rule momentum and he gets into the end zone, and now he runs around and he fumbles the ball and it goes out of the back of the end zone, what do we have? That's correct. And I said that to my crew in the pregame before the game we had this weekend.
Okay, repeat that one more time.
We have momentum. Momentum applies even if he takes the ball into the end, if his momentum takes him into the end zone. And then something happens in the end zone.
And the ball is declared
The ball is
dead.
declared dead in the end zone. We have momentum that can apply. Now, if we have a foul during the kick, we have momentum at the 4, and we have a hold during the kick, play ends in the end zone, where are we going to administer the foul? 20-yard line. Okay. Now we have same scenario, and we have a hold at the 1 during the return. Or no return. Where are we going to go? We have a foul in the end zone. Have a good night. Still need a field judge, a side judge at University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and a clock operator at Newport News. Please contact me. I will send out an email as well.
Marty said that.
All right.
Because their game last